how do we apply these mystical teachings, because they've been around for a long time? How do we apply what they're discovering in science now so that we have a life that we love? And I've been really privileged to been able to call people up that have applied these works, applied these ideas, and had a shift because of it. And so it's my great pleasure to introduce you another person, Frank Selden.
Morning, CSL Seattle. Good morning. Feels like home. For many years it was for me, right here in Seattle. 2014, August, the beginning of the month, if you had a checklist as what is a successful life, that was mine. Flourishing legal practice. But by the end of the month, I couldn't get out of bed. Daily fatigue, aches, pains, sometimes excruciating, going to see lots of doctors who had no answers for over a year, until finally we found a doctor that said, you have this, and there's no known cure, and this is what your life's going to look like with this. I actually chose to end my life after hearing that news. Only a few people here know that. But I was given a chance to put my life back together, to find inspiration. And I dove back deeper into the teachings that I was learning here. One of them, the 5-step foundational prayer that Kathy Ann's going to talk about. And in these teachings, I put together this divine vision of what I wanted my healing to look like. And I'm using the I am statements, healing, whole, combining it with energy, emotion, and at my very logical lawyer brain, on the other hand, was looking at all of the evidence all day long and saying, but you're not healed. And I stayed in this plateau for several years, oscillating back and forth between the vision of healing and wholeness and everything I wanted in life versus my reality. And one day, I read a statement that I know I'd read hundreds of times before. It said, we do not wait for healing to feel whole. We feel whole for healing to occur. We do not wait for healing to feel whole. We feel whole for healing to occur. And I realized I had it backwards. Because what I was identifying with was the I'm not healed. My emotional identity was caught up in I'm not healed. I was intellectually going through this process, but emotionally I was identifying here. Does that make sense? And when I realized that, I felt exuberant. I felt joyful. I felt actually like giddy, like I got it when it was here. That's how it was for me anyways. For other people, it might show up somewhere else. But I had this emotional knowing right here, I am healing. And my health started to take off. I also applied that exact same way of putting pieces together to every other aspect of my life. I did it with finances, with relationship. Two years ago, walked the El Camino Trail in Spain, 500 miles. And this coming only a few years after needing help going up a flight of stairs from an incurable disease. That's from this. I'm actually not here today to talk about me. Came here today to ask you to listen to what Kathy Ann is going to say next as if you've never heard it before. Let go of those judgments and stories and look for that connection, emotional connection, where it puts the divine and what we think is our reality all into one space where we know we no. And then life starts to unfold in amazing, amazing ways.